Well, good morning, everybody. It is Dana from the Run Eat Drink podcast at runeatdrink.net. Hello, is it working? Okay, there we go. Hey, good morning. It's week 3, day 3. We are out here about to do our long run, and this week it's kind of unique. This is the first time in our long run in this series where our long run distance is going to meet or exceed a 5K distance. That's right. Today's run is 3.3 miles. So we're now mid training program, and we're already kind of mid distance in that. So it's a pretty nice progression. I think that if you've been coming along over the last 3 weeks, you've seen that we're doing very easy intervals. We're keeping it very slow, nice short steps in the stride, not running too long, not walking too long. And it's been very manageable. At least I hope that you guys have thought that that's been the case. So this morning's run is going to be just like our previous long runs, but with a little bit of a twist. We're also going to incorporate some of the intervals towards the end. Why towards the end? Well, the idea with the Galloway method is that you are doing your interval work from the very beginning, as opposed to running all out, gassing yourself, and then switching to intervals. By doing your intervals from the beginning, you're keeping gas in the tank, and therefore you're able to turn up the heat, as it were, as you're heading in towards the finish line, so that you can finish strong, especially if maybe you are needing to eke out some extra performance while you're trying to make a time goal for yourself, or whatever the case may be. So it's hopefully going to be a good way for you to see, oh yeah, okay, we've done 2+ miles. Now we're starting intervals, and it's all good. I can do that. So I don't know. Amy's over here. She just jumped in the chat. So that's what you can see. You can see down here. I'm not a very good weatherman. Down here, there's her cell phone. She's feverishly typing and social media-ing. So
I'm inviting people to join us.
I know. And I'm really glad. So anyway, water, always a must. And we're going to get out and start doing some of the miles walking for the first bit. So, you ready? Are you ready? Let's do it.
Okay.
Now, everybody in the Runcation Nation who's coming along for this one is also part of the Grand Beta Test.
The Grand Beta Test?
This is the Grand Beta Test. Because, lo and behold, I guess it is important to go ahead and start our Garmin as well, so that, things count. That would be really helpful.
Yeah.
It's also really helpful. I just realized
What?
I didn't stop my watch from my run last night. So I've been running for the last 9 hours. This is going to be the world's slowest run ever. And let's see if I have any battery whatsoever left in this thing. Actually, I do. The nice thing about the Garmin is that its battery life is ridiculously good. So that's the one thing I'm not too concerned about. It took me 8 hours and 13 minutes to go 2.6 miles. So needless to say, the Garmin's going to tell me that my aerobic fitness is garbage, and
your training is not optimal.
My training is not optimal. Yeah, I don't write their copy. But I think I will probably have to go in and trim that a little bit.
God.
She's laughing at me.
Sorry.
All right. So
okay.
I'm going to set mine, since I'm not doing straight intervals for the whole thing, I'm just going to set mine for a walk.
Oh, yeah?
Right now.
Okay.
And then we'll manually do the intervals towards the end. So Let's do that. There we go.
Are we doing 15:45 intervals?
We will.
Sir?
We will towards the end.
Okay.
Let's do a 3-minute warm-up.
Okay.
So as I was saying, you guys are part of the grand beta test this morning because I got my new iPhone yesterday. I've been trying to migrate things over and deal with minor hiccups with the activation.
That's because you're not restoring from a backup.
See, she's channeling her inner knowledge regarding that. It's very helpful.
I didn't restore from a backup either.
So it's been mostly painless.
Mostly painless, and my hair is crazy right now.
It's been low pain. We won't call it painless.
My just
Not your hair.
crazy.
No, you're good.
Has anybody joined us in the chat?
We have one person watching, so please say hi. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're running, if you're running.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to watch this on playback, then please do the same thing. We're always very curious about who's watching and what you're running, especially your interval, if you're doing interval work.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're in a race, it's Saturday morning.
That is true. This is a weekend, so people could be racing. And
could be standing in a corral waiting for a start.
Indeed. So what we do like to do typically for that 3-minute warm-up, 3-minute cool down, and it's not always the case when we're on camera here, but if you're going to do something like a quick warm-up, that's a good time to get a few sips of water in. If you didn't, hydrate up the night before, or just then in the morning to wet your whistle.
Yeah.
Like us, we got up, we had coffee. Coffee is not the optimal hydration beverage. We've talked about this in the past.
But
I have made that mistake.
What? Old coffee only?
Old coffee only.
Powered only by coffee?
Yes. I don't recommend it.
Okay. But Jeff Galloway drinks coffee before a run.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying don't have coffee. I'm saying have.
If you do it. If
right.
That's something you do on the regular. If it's not, then don't try anything new on race day.
Oh, no, that's a huge thing for him. And I could agree with that. Good morning. Yeah, not trying new things on race day is absolutely smart. Don't do brand new shoes. Don't vastly change up your nutrition, and that can be hard sometimes if you're traveling.
Yeah.
We encountered. I think we really encountered that. The worst we ever encountered that I think was our first time going out to California. Mm-hmm. Out there. We were trying to find, some snack foods and stuff we could bring back to the hotel, that would just be easy on the stomach.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to eat out, finding a restaurant that is, has things that sit well with you.
That and trust.
And ideally won't food poison you.
Mm-hmm.
That's happened.
You referenced the California trip, the very first California trip, and that's where it happened.
That is indeed.
So
where it occurred. Yeah. That's where it went down.
Where it came up. Sorry.
Touche.
Oh.
Touche.
Yeah. So don't try anything new.
No.
And only drink coffee if you do that. Normally, and you've tested it on training runs, this is the time to try to be able to test beverages, nutrition,
gear,
any kind of tool you use in training, a la Body Glide, or any kind of brace or hydration pack, like that kind of gear.
I would say it's also
socks.
It's a good time. These training runs are a great time to practice, not just test it, but practice using it. Mm-hmm. That muscle memory that you develop. Hey, Josh is in the house. Good morning, Josh. You just missed it. I told everybody that you're part of the beta test. This is my new phone that we're broadcasting on. And
so how's the sound and how does it look?
Yeah, hopefully you can hear us. And we're not just shouting into the abyss. So what? So
Just keep talking.
the yeah, ideally we're not anyway. But yeah, that muscle memory that you develop manipulating your gear, and while you're moving, the multitasking can be incredibly important.
Just ask me.
Just ask her. She
Food mistakes made in California.
gear mistakes in Atlanta.
Well, not gear mistakes, but not focusing. Lack of focus on the run.
Yeah,
Mistakes.
if you're not familiar with exactly where your gear is and how to do it without looking at it, you end up taking your eyes off the road. You find a pothole and you do your best to help out Atlanta's Public Works.
Well, you know, yeah.
Josh says sound is good. Thank you, sir.
Yay.
And I finally did get your message regarding that bow tie thing. That is very interesting. I will check it out. The when I mentioned that I was having to be mindful of my arm placement, though, it was purely because my shoulders are smoked at the end of the workout. Not not that I necessarily needed some assistance, but I will. If that's going to help me in the workout too, I'll take it. I'm going to hand you off for a second. I got to get a rock out of my shoe.
Okay. Will you set that
Got
down
it.
for me?
I'll catch up.
Okay. So, listen, not only have I been. Oh, okay. I'm not waiting for you. Okay. He says to go on. So, while he gets his rock out of his shoe. So, not only have I been woefully absent on coffee chats, which we're going to do a little bit later today after this training run, we missed International Coffee Day. International Coffee Day yesterday. And so we're going to celebrate belatedly today in a coffee chat. We're going to talk about some of our favorite coffee, some of which was supplied by the Runcation Nation, of course, and Josh, and running through Wonderland Jen, and Susie, and Jojo, and so you all know us so very well. Also, James Gray, who sent us a can of, I was going to say a can of whoop ass, but it's not right. That's not right. Jittery Joe's. Yeah. Jittery Joe's coffee. That was good. And we have some local places where we love coffee too. So, but really, did we need to celebrate International Coffee Day? Because International Coffee Day for us is every day. Wouldn't you agree? Maybe you would agree. After all, I am wearing the Coffee Crew shirt today. So, which everybody loved, so we just decided to leave it on the website. And Pure Creative Apparel said, Pam and Ariel said, we'll just keep making it. So that's good. And yeah, so we missed National Coffee Day and International Coffee Day, but really it's every day for us. So I'm not being stalked in the background. In fact, you see my co-host catching up to us after removing a rock from his shoe. Don't know how that got in there, really, but yeah. I don't have a rock in my shoe, but I do have some very good orthotics to prevent any kind of plantar fasciitis, which I had before few years ago actually now. And that's bad.
It's bad.
Plantar fasciitis.
Oh, that sucks.
We're talking about gear, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And here you are.
Here I am.
Sir. So.
Game on.
Yeah.
Get back into this combo.
I was talking about, you haven't missed much. I was talking about how we missed National Coffee Day and International Coffee Day, but really, every day is coffee day for us. So.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. So this run is powered by water and coffee.
I literally made coffee this morning on the Nespresso.
Go start with
I
it.
said, start with this. I have more coming because I was doing a French press.
Some of the coffee that actually Dawn sent us.
Yes.
Dawn is another one who sent us a bunch of coffee.
So finished that pound, and then I think moving back to yet more Black Rifle.
Oh,
courtesy of Josh.
Yeah.
So
Susie sent us Caribou, and JoJo sent us Death Wish, I think. And Jen is fond of sending us Expedition Roasters. And
which we've been trying the samplers this week on the
so
Expedition
good.
Roasters.
Yeah.
And those,
So good.
Again, I really thought I was going to not be a fan because I've historically not been a fan of the flavored coffees, but
You love it though.
they're really good. Construction starting on this house this morning.
And then the coffee that James Gray, that Jim sent us.
Yes. The can of whoop ass.
Was it a can of whoop ass? I called it a can of whoop ass and I thought I was wrong.
No.
But it's Jittery Joe's coffee.
Jittery Joe's whoop ass.
Yeah. So I wasn't wrong. So good, yeah.
And Josh says they have beautiful sunset or sunrises. Sunrises there. I have no doubt.
Oh, it's where is he today? Is he working?
Yeah, are you working?
And driving and seeing a sunrise, or because I mean it's pretty here, and actually the weather is gorgeous.
We've had some fall this week.
Yeah.
Florida fall. I always have to put an asterisk on that. We had fall this week, asterisk. It's still getting to 90 degrees. It's going to be 90 degrees today. It's just the humidity has been actually not oppressive.
Yes, which
You'll notice I didn't say good.
It makes it feel like it's a change in the season. Hopefully that will stick around because this is our last month of training before Wine and Dine.
Josh is leaving Florence.
Okay.
Sky is burning. Nice.
Ooh.
You just be careful with the others out there on the road.
Yeah.
I know when the sun's in their eyes, they're not able to see and they don't pay attention anyway. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a pretty morning and not as humid as in the past. So for this last month of training before our first live race back at Disney since 2019.
Yeah, it is.
That
I mean, we've taken races up there. But
yes, you know what I mean, though.
I do.
One of their organized races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, I think the Dana Players 5K is this morning.
It is, and I totally. By the way,
in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I need to apologize.
Live.
I thought that the race course they published was for the Dana 5K for marathon weekend.
Oh, why? What did you say something about it? Or?
I posted it in the Runcation Nation Facebook group.
Oh.
Because our friend Andy Sharp shared it, and I was like, oh, because if anyone's going to have advanced knowledge of stuff going on there, it's going to be Andy. And I'm thinking, oh, that's great. And I went to the Dana website, and maybe it was just my sheer lack of ability to navigate that website. I don't want to blame their webmaster, but it wasn't immediately clear that it was a race this month. So I was like, oh, they gave advance notice of the course. It's totally different than previous years. No, that's not the case.
No.
So I had to go back and eat a little crow in the group and go, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was just trying to give people some advance notice and get them excited because we loved that weekend.
Everybody's excited in the group for the Dana weekend.
Although, truthfully, I don't even know that I'd want them to move that 5K course.
No,
running in the beach towns of Jacksonville Beach.
Yeah.
I mean, that course is it's a neighborhood run, but it's
not your traditional neighborhood run. Like we talked about that on Vacation Races this week about the Vacation Races 5K.
Yeah.
We talked about that and how if you want to have a scenic course, probably their longer distances are more of a chance for that, for a destination race. But this one, it's different. this is not, yes, the beaches that you get to see intermittently in the neighborhood, you get views, but typically it's not about that. It's about the volunteers, it's about the police that are manning the course, it's about
the neighborhood
participation.
Yeah.
That makes that race everything it is.
Yeah.
So.
And Josh says the Bridge of Death will be interesting. I didn't realize they kept that bridge in for the marathon distance.
They well, the last time we ran it, they didn't.
Well, he's saying that the bridge. So, have you looked at the race course for that? If it's got the Bridge of Death.
The last time we ran the half, they talked about changing the course where the bridge wasn't there.
For the half.
For the full.
Oh, for the full.
Yeah.
Well,
like
if
the
they've
full
published
and
your
the
course
half
and the bridge is there, I'm sorry.
The full and the half and the ultra all finish right there by Southern Grounds.
Right.
Everything finishes there, whereas
it used to finish on the property at Mayo.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've got that bridge, I apologize. Because we did it the year that we did it, where the bridge was the 2 years.
Well, hopefully he won't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Hopefully he won't have to worry about that. I don't know, but I can tell you that we had a marathoner on the course the first time we did the race when that bridge was still there, and the half and the full and everything finished on the Mayo property, the Mayo Clinic property. We had somebody who stopped out and just couldn't stop cramping, and I whipped out the roll-on of BioFreeze that we had, and I stopped and I was like, "Here, is this gonna help? Because you're so close." We were gonna go on like some kind of exit ramp onto an entrance ramp onto the bridge or off of the bridge that was set up for that, and he was so close because that's like 2 miles from the finish, something like that. And I was like, "Here, do this."
You're doing that. I'm sharing water and electrolytes. It's again, some of the nicest people you're ever going to meet are runners you've never met.
And he's like, he's on the struggle bus with that, and we know that all too well from the Tower of Terror 10 mile because when you get to the end, if you have just involuntary cramps in your calves, that's what I had. That's what I had during the Tower of Terror 10 miler.
Like you could watch her calf muscles rippling.
You can see it. There's nothing you can do at that point.
You were trying to stretch on a curb.
Every few steps, and I know that you were like, "We just need to be done. It's so hot. It's so humid."
Well, that race, I don't think that Disney will ever admit it. I am firmly convinced that they stopped doing that race not out of attendance, because it was always very, very well attended.
Yeah.
But every year, that race had more and more people at the end falling out.
Yeah.
And on the ground with medical, because in October it's miserable in Orlando, and people come up there, and it's a nighttime race, and I don't know, there's not enough messaging. I mean, Jeff Galloway, when he would do his talks,
well, to be fair, if he's talking to you at the race expo, there's little time to change your nutritional routine.
There is, but
I mean, you can
dial back your effort.
You can, or you can increase your hydration, or what,
And I think a lot of people, they get there and it's a nighttime race, so they're like, "Oh, no sun, no problem."
Right.
But what they don't realize is, even at night up there, because Disney's built on a swamp, the humidity increases as the night goes on.
Well, we didn't even take his advice when we did the vacation races 5K, because we went to a moonshine tasting before the race.
Well, we were killing 3 hours, and our room wasn't ready at the hotel. We're around the corner, so we start walking, and we're checking stuff out, and then we're like, "Oh, let's check this," and it's just a tasting. It's just little itty bitty thimbles,
like thimble size
of. So I'm like, "Yeah, we'll do that." And I mean, neither one of us were in any way intoxicated, but it's just one of those things that, it pulls.
Moonshine is not a pre-race beverage.
That is not a pre-race beverage, regardless of the amount that you have. I don't recommend that.
And then we didn't drink water.
No, and that was that was just due to the travel that day. I mean, we were trying.
God, if you can, don't fly in the morning of a race.
Yeah, I mean, if you can avoid it.
Yeah. And
try not to. And we have a couple of people in the chat. Say hi. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're running. This is the long run this week, the long run. Like we've said before, on the Galloway plan, your long runs do not have to be runs. You can actually walk the entire thing. We're walking a good portion of it right now. We're in the first mile. We're about to hit mile 1, just kind of getting the blood flowing. We'll probably, in mile 3 or heading into mile 3, incorporate some intervals just to show you guys, saving that energy towards the end is perfectly okay, because Galloway will tell you, start doing your intervals from the very beginning of the race. It's not something you save until the end after you've gassed yourself. You want to keep fuel in the tank. So that's the plan anyway. And then in the meantime, we're getting warmed up. We're connecting with you guys, and reliving some of our race mistakes.
Yes.
well, I mean, not really race mistakes.
Will benefit from the wisdom of our lessons.
Well, you would think that
repeated lessons.
That would be a pretty easy one. Just, hey, don't drink moonshine before a race. Pro tip. I mean,
that's not a pro tip. That's not a pro tip. That's a logical tip. Let's say. You know what I mean?
I do.
Come on. Sorry.
Nope, I'm just trying not to eclipse you on camera.
You mean the sun, or?
No, me being in front of you.
Oh. Nobody cares. Really?
Well, I'm having to alternate shoulders for holding this thing. I need a drone that'll follow us around.
But then how would you touch it for comments and stuff?
Oh, you wouldn't. Or it'd be right here, like right in your face. But then you wouldn't be able to hear yourself. There's no good solution to this. I need a cameraman. Megan Brower.
Yay!
Good morning, Megan.
What are you doing this morning?
Tell us, are you out doing a run? Are you doing a race? Are you having a lazy Saturday? Tell us. This is week 3, day 3 for us. It's mile 1 right now, a little over mile 1.
Yeah.
And this is the long run for the Galloway program. So, of course, you don't have to do a run per se. We're just getting the distance in total. And it's our first time in training for the 10K that we have surpassed the 5K distance.
So
Run, Eat, Drone podcast, Josh says.
Really?
That's all I need is to complicate things with entanglements with the FAA. No, I'm good.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Megan says, lazy Saturday.
Oh, good.
And coffee. Walk soon, run tomorrow.
Yay.
Very good. When we get done here, we're going to do a coffee chat. Are we going to do it at the house, or are we going to go someplace for coffee?
We can go someplace if you want.
It's up to you.
I don't know. I mean,
She forgets. I just go where she tells me.
I mean, maybe.
And Josh says, good morning, Meg. I forget sometimes that you guys can't see each other's comments because you're on different platforms. So
yeah,
I get to see everything coming in. So my apologies for that.
How is everybody's training going for their respective races?
Yes.
That's what we want to know. Because I know Meg is doing the Wine and Dine Challenge.
Whew.
I'm jealous. But we're doing the 5K and the 10K, so
right.
I think that's good.
I think that's great.
And I am continually checking in to get us a plant-based carb-loading meal between the 5K and the 10K. at Trattoria Al Forno.
Yes.
Which I don't think we've talked about yet on the show.
No?
Mm.
Yeah, Trattoria Al Forno over on the boardwalk.
We might have mentioned it in live chats. I don't think we've done it on an episode proper.
They have an amazing plant-based penne pasta that's just incredible.
Yeah.
It actually is a beautiful sunrise this morning.
It is.
We have pretty low humidity right now, although it was a watering night here for people. So you're getting the humidity coming off of their lawns. But yeah, the humidity this week has been mercifully really nice.
Yeah, I don't know how the weather is up there, Meg, where you are.
And I say really nice. It's between today it's between 71 for a low and 90 for a high, but the humidity's low.
Yeah.
So you don't walk out of the house immediately sweating. We're walking by some construction, so give us just a second. Megan says training is going.
I hear you there. Right now, I'm having lots of high T-band and hip issues. Because I don't think that 1-to-3 ratio is for me.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
Well, there's no need to push yourself this week then and do that with me.
Right.
You know.
I just don't. And I know that is, like, some people will hear me say 15:45 is not for me. 15 seconds is not that long in terms of an interval, but I am a shorter interval person.
Yeah. Now, when you get to cooking on your 624, you're.
And I haven't really tried that this training cycle, so we'll see how it works out.
It's a rainy 60 degrees where Meg's at.
Ooh, rainy and 60. Rainy.
Now, the one drawback to the challenge training is always those back-to-back running days.
Yes. So, like right now, Jeff has me. I don't know if Meg is going through this in her training plan, but Jeff has me doing.
Kevin Gwynn, good morning.
Kevin! I shared in the Extra Mile podcast group because I was trying to get him to come say hi if he was awake.
Well, there you go.
So.
Good morning, sir.
And he graciously lets us share in there. So.
We are very thankful for that.
Yeah. So. So what Jeff has me doing in e-coaching right now is not this weekend. This is just a 3-mile in between the two back-to-back run kind of weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So last weekend, when you stayed with me in the long run for 6 miles, I had done a 2-miler the previous day. So that's a back-to-back to try and get us ready for the back-to-back days, not only
at Disney, but
at Jeff's race as well in December.
Exactly.
So.
Which, by the way, Kevin, we're starting to put things on calendar.
Yeah.
If you're still in the chat, we definitely want to connect while we're up in Atlanta.
We do.
So
we do.
We're super excited for that race as well.
Mm-hmm.
That whole weekend. I really hope that we still get the Orpheus Brewing.
Did we not pay for that
party.
in the one that's been deferred to this year?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
But I'm hopeful that that's still happening.
Oh.
Because that's so much fun because you're freezing to death because it's 28 degrees at the start for that one, and then you get done and you're in that warm brewery and they're pouring. That place does
high
a
ABV,
lot of high ABV,
but very
dark beers,
tasty,
and
very tasty.
Everyone is just so relaxed and having so much fun.
Yeah,
it's a blast.
Yes,
and you can literally walk to the brewery because it's just up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Adjacent to the park.
Mm-hmm. Piedmont Park. So yeah.
I'm sorry. So you are doing back-to-backs,
mm-hmm.
training for our November and December races.
For that race that you speak of. Yes. So hopefully, so that I know it's so my body can get used to doing the back-to-back for the challenges and everything. But when I want to come out with you during the live runs, I wanted to do the 3-to-1 ratio and stay with you.
Well, even a 3-to-1 in a short interval
So.
would be like a 6. That would be like a 6:18.
Yeah, which I haven't tried that.
She's stopping for
this is me, right?
hydration break. I'll hand off. I'll catch up.
Okay. Yeah. So, are you staying in Disney for Wine and Dine? I certainly wish we could. We're not on property. We're property adjacent. Yeah. There we go. Where are we staying?
Property adjacent.
We're property adjacent.
Aren't we at the
Hilton Bonnet
Creek?
The Signia.
Yeah, right.
Collection.
They've rebranded.
However they say it. I don't know how you title this thing now.
Signia. It's Latin for expensive because they decided to increase their prices there. And
does Signia come first? Like Signia. Hilton?
Signia by Hilton.
Signia by Hilton Bonnet Creek. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where we're staying.
That has been a hidden gem forever and a day. It's always been almost from.
It's not hidden anymore.
No. For the better part of the year, you could get rooms there for under $200 a night. And it's a sister property with the Waldorf Astoria.
Yes.
And
which has a great spa, by the way, when it's open.
It's just as good as far as the fit and finish and quality and amenities. I mean, in fact, you might argue they have better amenities.
Well, I love the lazy river. I love the pool bar.
Right.
At Hilton Bonnet Creek. So.
But
not a sponsor.
No, but
they have
had us up to cover them before, though.
Yeah, in the past.
And the but we've been staying there for years before that.
Mm-hmm.
And they I think realized, hey, we could increase the, of course we could make some improvements to the property, which they are doing.
Yeah.
And they could create a new rebrand of it. And
I think it started when they became a Disney hotel that offered extra magic hours before the pandemic. Extra magic hours and bus service.
Bingo.
Like the advance.
You get all
reservation, all the benefits, and you're adjacent.
But what we liked about them over the years is that they put on a special marathon or half marathon weekend.
And I need to reach out to them and see if they're doing that.
Yeah. I hope they are. I mean, I see why it might go away, but I would like for them to keep it. Yeah. But, they do like a pre-race party, DJ in the morning, coffee bar, fruit, and
bananas, coffee,
pre-run food.
Like
And then everybody get on the bus, and the buses run you over to the race.
Yeah.
Now, the only drawback to that was when the drop-off is at Epcot, they drop you off. If you take the bus, actually, if you take any of the buses that aren't Disney specific.
Yes.
Buses, if they aren't Disney owned or Disney contracted buses,
right,
then the bus has to go over to the bus area for the park.
Which means you're tacking on the distance that you have to go to take the bus to take you to the start, because the drop off is at the finish.
Yeah, and so it's like it's almost a mile.
So
to walk.
Yeah, I don't know, Meg. Where are you staying? Where are you and Brian staying? So it's probably somewhere awesome. I mean, on property. Awesome.
I mean, if you can get an Epcot resort that weekend, that's ideal.
Oh my God. Yeah. But I love Bonnet Creek. So great. So I'm super happy about
we were already in the bag for them before they let us cover them on the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
but we would like to cover their return.
We would.
Totally.
Like I said, I would wear like a NASCAR jumpsuit if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Have they announced this year's courses yet for Wine and Dine? Will it start at Magic Kingdom? Ooh. I haven't seen any official announcements.
I haven't seen anything. But I haven't been looking either.
No, the only thing that I think might change it up would be that they would need to either divert some of it around construction.
Maybe. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'll be curious. I doubt. This is just me speculating, but I doubt there's going to be huge changes for that. And I'm only speaking as somebody who's done major event planning for like law enforcement response and all that.
Right.
And the sheer number of cops they got to get there to do traffic control.
Mm-hmm.
Those traffic plans, if you don't have to reinvent the wheel,
it's nice.
And you know exactly how many you're going to need from year to year.
Mm-hmm.
It's
easy.
Yeah. Oh.
What?
She's staying at Port Orleans.
Oh, one of his favorites.
French Quarter. That is
one of his favorites. Actually, we stayed at Riverside, but we were over at Port Orleans
for breakfast, brunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Walk over.
To do the shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits.
The beignets. Oh.
Beignets and chicory coffee.
Oh, so good.
That is one of the.
And apparently, Yeehaw Bob is back there now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I mean, So we're just talking about the highlights of our upcoming races is what we're doing with our people. So, like we talked about the Donna highlights. We talked about Jeff's race highlights. Now we're talking about Wine and Dine highlights.
Well, when Josh and Jessica finish their marathon, we've got to get them, properly refueled and restored, and, get them some good protein, post-run protein. So hopefully, maybe do Post Tavern for amazing burgers or chili.
Yes.
Because that race in February in Jacksonville, it can be pretty blustery and chilly. Or
rainy and a little bit humid.
Or rainy and gross. You just never know.
You never know what you're gonna get there.
So we gotta make sure we get them taken care of.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably gonna have to hand each one of them like an Apple AirTag so I can track them.
Isn't there runner tracking?
Find my runner. Yeah.
We haven't ever done runner tracking before.
There's runner tracking, but
just hand him an AirTag.
Like, here, hold this. Will you be cheering on
lost our runners.
Will we be cheering on half marathon day? You're running half marathon. We're gonna come cheer. Absolutely.
I think we should do it at the Boardwalk Bakery.
Oh, see, I like the way she thinks. I can cheer you on with a butter. That's
so good.
One of the best breakfast sandwiches on property, period. And if you don't think so, fight me.
I don't think they're going to fight you.
No, there's nothing to fight on that one.
I really don't.
Everyone agrees.
Yeah.
The butter and that other one that has the chorizo sausage.
Oh,
what's it called?
I don't know what that is. Everything something.
It's chorizo, egg, and fontina cheese.
I don't know, but
Panini
the
pressed.
butter is my favorite.
It's insane.
Yes.
Insanely good.
Yeah. And anyway, you know what I mean.
And then maybe we'll have to figure out some funny signs to hold up.
Yes, indeed. We'll have to scour.
So yes,
resources.
we can hand Megan an AirTag too.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, we can do runner tracking at Disney though, right?
You can do runner tracking at Disney, but I think if we want literally up to the second tracking, we'll have to give you one to hold or throw in a pocket while you're there.
Or she'll have to share her location with us.
Or that. I can't tell you how many times I've used Find My Friends.
Yeah, but it looked like I was in the middle of water or something.
I'm like, she took a boat.
You're like, I'm no cheater. Shut up. That's,
Josh says Raptor approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the place that we've mentioned, Josh, for the post race for you up there, Post Tavern. It's a local chain, but their food is so incredible and they're so runner and race friendly, and you're gonna need it coming off of that 26.2, and
oh my god,
you got to get some protein in you like right away.
What is it? We need the drunken chili on everything.
Well, they do a pretty amazing beer chili, which is insanely good. But their burgers are killer.
Oh yeah.
she's swimming out to sea.
I was not. I did not.
When I actually did the tracking, I took a screenshot of it because it was in the waterway in between Hollywood Studios and Epcot, and I'm like, she took a boat. I can't believe she took a boat.
Really? I would not take a boat.
No, and actually the boats are slower than if you're running. So
I would not take a boat.
Josh says, if I die, I die.
You're not going to die because you're training well, my friend.
Nah,
right?
You're going to rock it out.
Yeah. You and Jessica, you're going to be beasts on the course. Or Raptor approved or whatever that is. I still don't know about that. Do you know about that? Did I miss something?
I've seen them talking about the Raptor approved stuff in our chats.
We just don't know what it is.
Oh, look at this dog coming towards us. Looks like a big bear. Hold on, I'll show you.
So pretty.
Look at that pooch. He's a good boy.
How do you know it's a boy?
I don't. Every dog's a good boy until you find out. Morning.
Good morning. It is so beautiful. The weather's perfect.
Well, we're about to get to mile 2, which is great.
Yes.
And then at probably about mile 2.3, because it's a 3.3 for me, that's when we'll do some interval work, just to kind of show everybody. Meg says that's the canal that never ends, miles 23 through 25 of the marathon course. That canal, that section of the marathon or the half is
that like a really congested place by the boardwalk?
Yes,
behind the boardwalk.
It sucks. There's no, I mean, you can throw elbows and you can run in the grass and you can be very aggressive, but then if you're doing it there, you're kind of a dick. And that's just not the place to do that because nobody has any room. And I've seen people completely lose their minds and be such jerks on the race course at that segment. Because they're like, oh, I'm trying to PR. You picked the wrong race. I actually yelled that at somebody.
Well, I mean, if that one section is dependent on your PR.
Yeah, then you've got other issues.
Yeah. Can you do it? Sure you can.
Yeah.
You have to manage the course.
Yeah. And the places to make up your time are not in the parks and definitely not in that segment right there that we're talking about.
And I don't really care about PRing at Disney. I want to PR and fun this year.
It's a much more beautiful walkway when you're not about to collapse.
Yeah, that's
Megan
true.
says.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny. That's the places that people think that they're going to make up time. That's not where you make up time. And then watching the sheer number of people who are like, when I get to the boardwalk, I'm going to open up. Yeah, no, you're probably not because you're going to bust your ass. And you
are in rare form this morning.
Every year you watch people just eat it on, I mean, they ought to rename it the salad shooter. I mean, they just eat it on that thing.
It's like a slip and slide.
Yeah.
It's like a slip and slide.
Because overnight, the Disney folks they do their pressure.
Early that morning because it's still wet.
Yeah, they're pressure washing. And that wood is slick.
Yeah.
But every time, I mean, 100% of the races we've been to, somebody just eats it on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
So, pro tip for Disney races: Osceola Parkway is your friend.
That's where you can make up time.
World Drive.
That's where you can make up time.
Is your friend. The back 40 by the water treatment plant.
Hey, even in an Animal Kingdom parking lot, you can come out. And it widens and in the parking lot.
In the parking lot.
Area,
not in the park.
Heading to Osceola, you have room.
Yeah.
You have room to go to the left and take it. Not the first part of Osceola Parkway that's kind of congested because the traffic is open if you're a slow runner like me. But it's you can make up a little bit of time there,
Mm-hmm.
and then once Osceola opens up,
it's a big straightaway.
Yeah.
So those are your areas that you really need to look at for, and this would be a good thing if you're Galloway running, looking at the race course and planning, like, of course you should be doing a little bit of hydration every mile. You should be doing a little bit of nutrition at least every 2 miles. But when you're looking, okay, I'm going to be conservative, in this segment here, I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to back off. I'm going to turn it up again here. Yeah. It's good to have that kind of a plan. Yeah. And Josh, kind of the same thing for you when you're looking at that race course.
We've never done the marathon.
No, we've done the half though.
But we've done the half,
Plenty.
So we know half. So we know half of the course essentially.
We know half of the old course. They said that they're making changes to the course.
Well, yeah, but some of it's got to be the same.
Yeah.
Some of it's got to be the same, but if you're in the beaches area,
that's all flat.
That's all flat and pretty spaced out.
Yeah, there really aren't any segments of the Dana where I would say that you end up with a lot of congestion other than at the beginning. And if you're not, an elite runner and you're going to be in the front of the pack, for that first mile, it takes a good mile for the runners to spread out.
Yeah.
So at that point, if you're doing interval work, keep to the right.
Yeah.
Signal to people by raising your hand that you're going to be doing your intervals.
Yeah.
You'll hear the Galloway timers going off there too.
Oh yeah.
And then and then hopefully we'll see Jeff come running by. I don't know if he's planning on running that one this year.
I guess we'll see. We'll find out. He hasn't
said yet.
He's kept everything under wraps or pretty close to the chest.
Well, he's still recovering.
Yeah. So I think that remains to be seen. So I just want him to have a healthy and full recovery.
Ooh, Megan fell in Animal Kingdom.
Ooh.
On the sidewalk on the way out during Marathon 2015. Goofy.
That's up and down, that part.
That sidewalk cement square just jumped right up at me.
Yeah.
Disney races footing can be quite tricky. Yes, they can.
Yeah, you change terrain a lot.
And
Animal Kingdom is the one where you have the most up and down and the changing of the type of surface you're running on.
Animal Kingdom's got that. Animal Kingdom also has train tracks, which we've avoided there, but found in other parks.
Yep.
Found
it.
Yeah.
Know that feeling. They jumped up at us.
Yes. You've also got some of those, fake cobblestones in some areas, and it's that one can be a little bit in the parks can be tricky. So that but that's what kills me when you see people who they're coming there and they're the hardcore runners and they're like, "Rah, I'm gonna PR," and all you people run walking or you're taking photos, and then you'll see them in the running groups, and it's very disheartening to see that because there's a lot of people like that in those groups, and I'm just like, you know what?
Go ahead.
Makes me want to leave the groups and not.
I'm gonna be over here with my hand up when I'm gonna start and my hand up when I'm gonna finish my intervals or change my interval period.
Josh says, "May the road come up and meet you," but not like that.
Exactly.
A variation on an Irish toast.
Not like that.
Not like that.
So. Yeah. I think all the roads are pretty well managed and manicured at Dana.
That's all public roadways.
Not a whole lot of potholes or uncomfortable. It's not like the trail that we did at Laurel Falls that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Oh Lord, no.
No.
And that part of Florida, even though it's very far north and a little higher in elevation, quote unquote, Jacksonville is a oceanside city, and you're not in the Panhandle. So, the Panhandle gets more hilly like Southern Alabama.
Yeah.
So you don't, you still feel very flat and very Florida-esque over in Jacksonville. So I don't think anybody's going to have any real problems there. Now, if you, in the course of your training, you do incorporate a little bit of hill work, whether it's inclines on a treadmill, like we do running parking garage, then you're going to be even more prepared for the possibility of a bridge. When they publish that race course, you'll know for sure. And if that big bridge is in there, it's about I'm gonna say it's about a mile long.
I don't know. I don't recall.
But the nice thing is,
it may feel like the endless mile.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is you can, if you power through, like if you power walk up, you can do intervals down without completely smoking your quads and your knees. Oh, Meg's got to run.
Bye, Meg. Have a good day. Meg.
So, all right. Okay. Ooh, we're at 2.43. All right. So now we're going to start incorporating some run intervals. And are you going to do the 15:45 this morning, or are you? No. All right. So I'm going to start incorporating some intervals, and we're going to do it in about 30 seconds. We're going to do the first interval.
So you have fun.
I'm just going to do a quick 15 seconds. That's going to mean that we're going to get about 1.5 to 2 footfalls per second for the duration of that interval. And just kind of get moving, get the blood flowing a little bit. And again, the idea is not to be where you're panting and can't talk and can't, have good oxygen exchange. The idea is to, just get that faster segment in to improve your time. And here we go.
Bye.
Bye. And here we go. That's that. I can report back also. I have been using these Merrell trail shoes for the last couple of weeks. I retired a pair of Brooks that I've been running in for a good bit. And these are actually a very pleasant surprise. I was expecting the trail shoe to be maybe a little too stiff because it's got the rock plate in the sole to protect you from stone bruises. And I didn't know if it would have enough motion control for my foot, but it's been really good. So pretty happy with that. And here we go. Here we go. I'm trying to work on the smooth transition from the run to the walk so that you don't have the jarring of the braking. Amy does a lot of the acceleration glider drills, probably more so than I do. And those are super valuable in getting you good at doing the transition. I can't recommend those enough. Same with the cadence drills if you're looking to increase your turnover rate. And we're about to start. Here we go. I'm being shot with lasers at the moment. They're literally doing some laser surveying here. And I'm like, what's that red dot? That's what that red dot is. Well, I can't lie. I've used that line on her before too. So, turnabout's fair play. All right, so about 13 seconds. We're at 2.65 miles right now. The sun's starting to come up, as you can see. And I do have segments of shade, which I love. courtesy of single-story homes. That shade's going to disappear pretty quick. All right. Whew. That was more of a 20-second there. The other thing you want to try to control is how hard your feet contact the ground. There's a tendency, especially when you get tired, for people to really pound the ground with their foot. It's almost in an effort to reaffirm to them that they're running. Makes them feel like they're doing more, and it is very jarring to the knee, to the ankle, and can actually result in some other injury. So you try your best when you're running to glide and not reach with your foot, hammer the ground hard if at all possible. And having a lighter step sometimes doesn't feel as fast, but there's a saying that slow is smooth and smooth is fast, or smooth is slow. Yeah, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And it applies. And here we go. Here we go. All right. Whew. Okay. Sun's peeking up now, and it immediately is super warm. Super, super warm. If only, the cameras are better on this phone, but I'm not there yet where I could do a nighttime run, video it without shining a light in your face. So nobody wants to watch that. Let's see. About 12 seconds out. We're at 2.86 miles right now. And here we go. For those of you that are watching on the playback, please don't forget, drop a comment, let us know who you are, where you're from, and what you're running. What's your interval? We're doing a 1 to 3 this morning, 15:45. We really did for the first 2+ miles, just a nice, easy walk to get moving, because again, we're not doing a run for time today. This is purely getting the distance on our feet. We're going to get to 3.3 miles. That's our goal. And we're going to achieve that goal in actually pretty short order. We're at 2.93 already. So, and then we're going to have a turnaround right up here. And we're going to do it all over again. So, here we go. Things to keep in mind too on your run segment, keeping that stride nice and short. That keeps you from doing that reaching and pounding. If you reach and pull with your heel, you can contribute to plantar fasciitis. Again, it's very jarring to your knee joints, and the last thing you want to do is unnecessarily stress your joints. All right, so we're 2.99. We're going to cross the 3-mile mark here in just a second. Here we are. We're at 3 miles right now. And we have 0.3 to go. That's it. So I'll probably just do another quick loop, like short loop, right here on this end of the street, and we're done. Hey, good morning, sir. Whoop. All right, I missed the interval. So, all right, we're getting a freebie here. That's what I get for running my mouth. That is one of the nice things about having the watch doing the intervals for you. You get that feedback. So it vibrates and it tells you, hey, start running or start walking. And when you get sidetracked, multitasking here with buttons and things, this thing's reminding you. And all of them will do it. Garmin's great. Apple Watch is great. I think the Google Watches have comparable apps available. I have a platform preference, but I'm also pretty platform agnostic. The main thing is find the app that works well for you and the device that has the battery life to survive your entire yeah. Wouldn't be the first time. Not even close. But yeah, finding the device that is going to have the battery life to last for the duration of your event, that's actually key. Some of the early Apple Watches didn't have the battery life to do, really anything beyond about 4 hours. So, big endurance races, not really a good option. I mean, there's a reason that Garmin is kind of looked at as the gold standard for, big endurance athlete events. I mean, they kill it. And there are a couple of other companies that do similar products, but Garmin is, when it comes to GPS, I mean, they're the name. Apple's great for shorter distances, in my opinion. I've had no problem doing it in half marathons. There she is. Hello, there she goes. And she's taking off. And we have crossed the threshold for a 5K. We're actually past it. We're at 3.19 right now, and we're about to start our next run segment. So here we go. All right. And we're at 3.23 right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn around because by the time I get back to the driveway, I'll have hit 3.3. Actually, probably gone past it. And we're done for the day. And then it's a good time to go get your post-race or post-run recovery beverage. A little bit of electrolyte, a little bit of protein. I'm using a vegan protein that I found that I'm liking. Flavor's good. It mixes in a shaker. Doesn't clump and doesn't taste like I'm eating, powdered concrete. And here we go. All right, and we're about to cross the threshold. Here we go. We're done. That is today's distance, 3.3 miles. 3-minute cool down period. So the nice part of having it done is now, in the hottest part of the day, I'm not out here pounding the pavement. I love that. I'm not going to lie. That is the trick. As you guys start getting into longer distance running, you'll find, and when I say that, I mean half marathons. Finding the time of the day when it's good for you is one thing. So around work schedules, kids, life, but then also scheduling it at a time where the elements aren't your enemy. For us, it's predominantly the heat and humidity, but we have the added bonus, the added level of difficulty that we have to schedule it around rain. And I don't mean, little showers. I mean thunderstorms that are actually dangerous. So that's no fun. But we did it. That's it. Unlike last night, I'm going to actually tell my Garmin to stop and save. I'll have to get in and edit my old or my run from last night. But yeah, how much longer you got? Okay, so yeah, so she's doing her thing there, and let me see. Yeah, we are 3.3 on the nose. That never happens. So yeah, please drop a comment, say hi, who you are, where you're from, what your run is. Today we did the Galloway Easy 10K. The long run distance today was 3.3 miles. You don't have to run on long run day. You certainly can, but you don't have to. And what we did was basically for a little bit more than the first half of the race, we decided to go ahead and do the walk and then start incorporating intervals in the second half. We're going to do the same thing next week as well. And then I think you guys at this point are starting to see the pattern where, every 2 weeks we're increasing the interval a little bit and increasing the amount of running we're doing on long run day. That's to ease everybody in, because come week 7, day 3, that's 10K run day. That's going to be the day that we, put our money where our mouth is, and that's going to be intervals for the whole distance. So we're going to see how well it works. We're going to incorporate our interval from beginning to end, and we're going to have proper preparation with, nutrition, hydration, all that stuff. But we'll be running that day like it's a race day. We had hoped that this was going to coincide with our October 10K down in Key West. Unfortunately, the folks with the county down there yanked their permit, and that race got canceled. So unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbles on that one. We had no control over that. So this beast is done. I'm done. We are going to pretty ourselves up, and we're going to probably pop back on over on Instagram a little later this morning for a coffee chat and talk about some of our favorite coffee shops and podcasts. We're kind of going to do an omnibus this morning of International Podcast Day and National Coffee Day. So,
yes.
Or do I have that backwards? National Podcast Day, International Coffee Day.
International both.
International both. So we're going to celebrate coffee and podcasts. Yeah. And she's already started. So anyway, guys, thank you for coming along today. If you're doing this in playback, please drop a comment. I'd love to know what you're doing. And don't forget, the new episode is up in the feed right now. That is covering our race in the Great Smoky Mountains.
Shout out to Tina for her first live 5K.
Absolutely.
And great steak and beer.
Yes, Classic American Steakhouse and an amazing brewery. Mm-hmm. And we have new episodes coming up this Tuesday morning as well. Mm-hmm. And more stuff coming for you guys, especially if you're over on the Patreon feed, patreon.com/runnydrinkpodcast. We have some great exclusive stuff for those folks as well. So anyway, guys, thank you again for coming along. We'll see you soon. Instagram in probably about an hour and a half or so.